Hey Nicole, I'm just getting set up. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I think that's on. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey Marsha, did you get your file cut or are you just gonna watch? Hey Robin, did you get all prepped? I got a little behind, guys. I was playing with some sublimation stuff today and what we can do here. I showered so you guys wouldn't smell me where you're at. That was a bonus. So let's first look at the cup. I'm actually doing a 25 ounce Hydro Sport from Hog. Never done one before, so I thought I'd give it a try. And I'm trying something a little different. I don't know if you can see here, but I cut a space out of the stencil so that I could add a name or something later. I thought that might be kind of fun. I don't know if you can see. No, probably not there. You can see a little bit of a space. So anyway, so I prepped the cup, painted it white, and I just used flat white. Cut out the stencil. I can give you a link. In fact, I'll post a link in the comments afterwards. That dang it, my comments keep going away, guys. If you guys are talking, then keep talking, and I'll keep an eye on them. Are you still froze, Marsha? Hey, Jessica. So anyway, so prime it with flat white. Let it sit. This one, it's imperative. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm probably the first one to not prep a cup. I know, bad me, but I don't. I get lazy and I don't do it. And so with this cup, the first go round, I didn't prep it. Went to put on the stencil, and when I was trying to pull off the transfer tape, it tore off my paint, which really irritated me because it took me a long time to get there. So anyway, prep the cup, sand it, wash it down with some Dawn, dry it up good, paint your base coat, put your stencil on. I do a white stencil, and I usually use just the cheap Cricut Walmart removable vinyl, just because you're gonna cover it up anyway. You're gonna spray paint over it, and so it just really doesn't matter. This time I used 651. I guess it'll work. It's not a matte, and I prefer a matte just so that the paint sticks a little better, but that's not what I used. So anyway, so put the vinyl on, and I go through and I just make sure that there's no bubbles, or as few bubbles as possible in the vinyl that's laying on there. And then spray paint another coat of flat white, and because that seems to work best with the alcohol inks, and then go for it. So there we are. It's all primed. I have it sitting on a Dollar Tree paper towel holder with a pool noodle on it. I've been just doing it not that way. I've been doing it just holding it in my hands, and my nails are brown and black. It's kind of gross. So I decided that probably that wasn't the best idea, and I'd try and be an example today. So the cup's all ready. There we go. I am gonna wear some gloves. When I'm doing stuff like this, I just wear cheap vinyl gloves, because we all know that it's not super easy right now to find nitrile gloves. So I'm just using cheap vinyl, and they work fine. It's just to protect my hands, so it's no big deal. I usually put a mat or something down just to protect, because when you're painting the alcohol inks, they can tend to splatter and splash a little bit. You're gonna need, so I use I don't know what you guys can see. Hopefully you can see this. I use just some medicine cups. Typically I use 2, and I put them in this little container just because then it's less likely that I'm going to knock them over, because I am the queen of knocking things over. I don't want alcohol inks all over everywhere. Probably you just need 1, because I just put just a little bit in and I use it up, and then if I need it a little bit more, then I use it up. And then as I go from the light to the dark inks, I just use the same cup over and over. At the end, you can use a cup for the plain alcohol if you want to. I'm using 99% alcohol just because it's what they had at like Rite Aid or something when I ordered it. So that's what I've been using. I'm wondering if it might not be a little bit better, and you'll see why at the end if we used like 70%, 90%. But I got 99, and it's what I've been using. It's what I used on all of them so far. So it'll work. And then a paintbrush. And this is just a cheesy paintbrush from Walmart that is a pretty fine bristle. You don't want any, like a chip brush with a really thick bristle. That's not going to get you the desired effect. I haven't tried anything but a paintbrush. I kind of think that that's the best way to go. So that's what I'm doing. Check out my cup. Haha, I got it from Angel. Love it. Thanks, Angel. Anyway, okay, so let's roll. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm having an epoxy reaction, so I'm scratching. Sorry, guys. So you want to start with your lightest color. So I have Latte from Tim Holtz, and I have Caramel from Tim Holtz. Last time I used Latte, and it works fine. Really, this is just to get a base coat and build up some alcohol ink on there. Like I said, I used Latte last time. This time I think I'm going to use Caramel, and we'll just see how that one goes. I tried it out last night with a, I still can't see comments. They come and go, guys. It's killing me. Marsha, I think they will. I think you can use whatever you want to use. I don't know why you couldn't. You just want them to build up. I don't know why the comments come and go. How annoying. So anyway, so I just put a little bit in my cup, not a ton, because you don't want to have a bunch left in there. You kind of want to put in what you're going to use. I keep a paper towel. So Robin, if you're having problems with that, you can, but a little trick, I don't ever use, on my alcohol inks, I don't ever use triple thick. I like triple thick as a sealer, but on alcohol inks I don't. It goes on too sticky. So so I don't use that. I use Rust-Oleum 2x clear, and you want to spray it in really, really light coats and spray it from a ways away. So even up to like 16 inches away I'll do, just to avoid it turning. And I'll usually do 1 coat and then let it really dry, and then the ink a lot of times will come back to its normal color. So Nicole, this first color is it's Caramel from Tim Holtz. You can do Latte. I've done Latte. I'm going to try Caramel. I don't really think it matters in this coat. In the base, this is just a base coat over your first coat of flat paint. You're going to paint the whole thing and just really work it. You just want coverage. That's all you're going for. This really is going to kind of disappear, essentially. So it's not a big thing that you don't want any white hanging out, but you're not super worried about lines or anything else. You just want to get a coat on there. Honestly, it's just to get it a little sticky on the paint. Just get something to stick on there. And see, I didn't put enough. Your brush will soak up the alcohol inks. It's a lot different than using, if you normally blot it on with like a makeup sponge or with a, usually when I'm doing like a wood grain, I do a foam, cheap foam brush from the dollar store. So that got about half my cup. It's definitely a little darker. I'm interested to see how this comes out, if it changes things. Like I said, this is just the base, so I don't know what it's gonna do, but we'll see. It's always good. I always test things out with you guys, so I can look like an idiot in front of people instead of by myself. Figure that's always a good plan, huh? Hey, Miranda. I saw you said something, but I missed it. Hang on just a second. Let me get this so it's not runny, and then I'll peek again real quick what you said. So again, we're just getting it covered. That's the only goal of this coat, is to get it covered, not leave any white. And it might be this room is a little bit warmer. I'm in my office. Usually I'm out in the kitchen because I don't have a husband, so I just craft wherever the heck I want. I pretty much have a craft house. So Miranda, what we have on the cup already is a flat white base coat. Make sure to prime it, or make sure to prep it, pardon me. Make sure to prep it well, sand it down. I'm really bad at prepping. And a lot of times I just don't do it, or I do a really kind of half-assed job. But on this, it's really imperative because you're putting stuff on top of it, and when you put the vinyl on, you don't want the transfer tape to tear off your inks. No, not your inks, your paint. God, I'm so dumb. Don't listen to me, guys. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So basically we've kind of got it now where we want it. We're just going to smooth it out. I just love this color all by itself. I'm a huge fan of wood grains. Huge fan of wood grains. So this was not a far stretch for me. I paint the bottom also. This time I wrapped some of the vinyl over it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not, but I can always put a decal or something on the bottom if I don't. But I'm gonna paint over it anyway and use it up. What's in there? So anyway, that's what's on the cup. A flat coat of white, a coat of vinyl in whatever design you want, whatever stencil you want. I'll link in the comments the ones, there's two that I've used. One is a paisley one that I really like, and one of them is a more traditional Western, what you kind of think of Western tooled leather. To me it looks like a saddle, like a horse saddle, something like that. I just like it. They're fun patterns. They're big, wide patterns instead of little tiny. You could do it tiny, but part of the draw of it is having a little bit of space. It's hard to see right now, but having a little bit of space in between the design, because that's what picks up your dark color, is to have that space. And that's what gives you the stark contrast that really, I really like. So, okay, so that was then the first coat of inks over a second coat of flat white. First coat of ink, I did a caramel from Tim Holtz. I have done latte from Tim Holtz, and I like that one fine. I don't know that it really matters because it's not going to be seen. We're just going to go, we're going to go right over it. So now on the second coat, then I'm going to do some sepia from Tim Holtz. And This one we're going to do a good amount, so I'll probably put a little bit more in there so I don't soak it all up. And I'm going to put in just a tiny bit of crimson in this, just to give it a little bit of a red tint. It's not noticeable, not like you'd think. It's not a lot. Probably I put maybe 10 drops in the sepia, just to tone it down a little bit from the dark brown and give it a little more rich red color. And then we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to take this and we're just building up the inks. Is all you're doing. So it's going to be the same kind of thing, and you can see how it goes on. It's like that rich brown red. Don't worry. This is not going to stay. And I actually maybe got it a little more red than what I wanted, so we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be pretty regardless, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. It is really red though. I have better lighting in here than in my bedroom where I was doing it the other day. Doing it with the cats, and the cats seemed to think that it was playtime. Oh, you're dragging that around. I should chase it. I should eat the alcohol inks. Whoops. Let's get back in frame. Sorry, guys. And you'll start to feel that it's going to get sticky. You feel as the inks dry that they get sticky. Now that you have a second coat, they don't run quite as much, which is nice. And it's starting to get sticky, which is what you want it to do. So, yeah. My son-in-law's home, so the dogs are going to bark. Sorry, we'll have the dogs for just a minute barking. And okay, so there's what we got so far. It is a really dark again, but we'll work with that in a minute. You want it dark. You really do want it to be a little dark, because this is what's going to make the contrast in just a few minutes. So I'm going to put in some more sepia, and I'm going to add a couple more drops of crimson, because I don't want it to be totally and completely different than the first coat that or the first part that I just started. You kind of want to have it be semi-even. You're going to get variance in leather, so it's not a huge thing, but it's an OCD thing, though. There's that. So, ooh, whoa, super runny. There we go. You don't have to dilly-dally about it. You can just put the stuff on, run with it. I've gotten pretty quick at just doing these things. I do like to go in one direction, though. I try not on this coat. On the base coat, it's not such a thing, but I really try on the rest of the coats to kind of go in the same direction so I don't get funky swirls or weird stuff going on. This brush is sure soaking up the inks, though. Good. I might have to put a little bit more in there. Maybe I got enough to just get me. Oh, I might have enough. This will be good. And it is definitely starting to feel like lacquer. It is sticky, and that's okay, so don't worry about it. For you guys that are working along, what do you think so far? Right? Me too, Robin. The first time I did it, like over the moon. And when it came out, I was in awe. I was like, that came out of my hands. That's freaking fantastic. It really is kind of cool to see what you can do, and more to know that it's not that difficult. You know, I guess I get a little in my own head sometimes, and I worry about things that I really probably needn't worry about. So I'm just going to get just a couple more drops of the sepia. I'm probably not going to add any of the crimson in this time because I'm not using that much. I just want to finish coating up the bottom. And you want to make sure you coat the bottom good, because the bottom, especially if you didn't wrap your stencil, the bottom is not going to get a lot of variance. So you just kind of want it to be like a good solid coat on the bottom. So here we go. Okay, so now it's nice and red, and that even is kind of a, I mean, it might be dark in a couple places, but that's a good kind of deep cherry leather look. So I kind of dig it already. So now that, one of these days someone's going to have to tell me how to get the dang comments to just stay on. Drives me nuts. So, so now we're going to let that sit for just a second. And hey, Joni. And I'm going to throw some, I'm done with the sepia now. So I'm going to do some teak wood. If you don't have teak wood, you can use some espresso. I might do something, cut it with a little sepia or maybe even some crimson or something. The thing about the espresso is it's really dark. So you want dark, but I'm not sure you want it that dark. So, and we're going to use a good amount of this, so I'm just going to load it up and hopefully I don't have to put it in 3 more times. So I've also used, if I don't have the teak wood, I use some of the espresso with, I put a little bit of like the caramel in it because it just lightens it up a little bit. So here we're going to go now with the teak wood, and you want a good heavy hand with the teak wood. And it's really dark, really, really dark, but that's what we want. So you're not ruining it. Don't worry. Spread it out, run with it top to bottom. Oh, it just has such a rich, rich look. I love it. Kind of just dig it the way it is. So then, ooh, oops, it's running away on me. Try and catch those drips. Really work them out. And the ink should be getting really sticky about now, which is okay. That's what we want. My chair is a little small for my desk, so I'm reaching a little funky. I hope you guys can see. I'm trying to stay in the frame so you guys can see what's going on. We're just gonna do the base now. Get that all on there. Groovy. Okay. And we got a little bit more to go. So we'll just go this way. Lots of teak wood, guys. Or whatever your dark is, lots of it. When I did it in black last night, maybe not so much on that. This just adds a richness to it, and it's gonna make you a nice base. Black is really easy to overtake, so if you're trying to do it in a gray, you just want to be really careful not to do too much. And you do want to keep working with the ink until it does get sticky and until it lays down nice. You don't want to let it just run. We're making a good mess at this point. So I think I've got pretty good coverage. I've spread it out pretty good. I'm not sure how I'm going to work with this panel where I put for the name. I'm probably just going to leave it be a little bit because there's nothing to, it's just going to be dark there. So I'm not quite sure what I'll do for a name even, but I guess we'll figure that out, won't we? Might not have been the brightest idea, but I guess we'll see. do have a little bit more, so I might go over it just a touch more just to get the inks gone. Although I don't need to put anything else in here, so if you don't want to waste the inks for sure. But at the same time, you know, I don't know that you need them. And we're not going to try and put anything in there, so it's not like it's a big deal. It's just kind of to get it on there, make sure you have good coverage. You want to really focus on the areas that are in between your vinyl, because that's what's going to give you that depth, that shadow that looks like tooled leather. So, oh man, guys, this is just too much. I don't know if I'll get tired of this one for a while. My first one sold so fast that I did the gray one, black one, and then what name? Should I send it to Montana? You're too funny. So we're gonna let that sit for a minute. My hands are super yuck. No wonder I was brown after yesterday. So we're just gonna let it dry up a little bit for just a second, and then I'm gonna set my paintbrush aside because I don't need it anymore. I'll just set it there for right now. I might need it if we need to go back, and that's the nice thing about alcohol inks is they're forgiving. So if you need to go back after the fact and even something out, or you take a little bit too much off and you kind of want to let it build up, so I just kind of wrinkle it up a little bit. It's gonna get brown really fast. That's okay. So I just get a little bit of alcohol ink on it. No, alcohol, not inks, sorry. Oh, whoa, I went a little crazy there. Anyway, and it's gonna be a little strong at first, so be really careful on your first few swipes, because that's what we're gonna do, is we're essentially just gonna swipe the cup. So I kind of want it to like dry a little bit. I don't want a ton. You definitely don't want it dripping wet. So we're just gonna take it. Hopefully you're in the frame and you can see what we got going on here. There we go. That's better. I've got a delay on the iPad, so I can't necessarily see for a second what you guys are seeing. So what you're gonna do is be really light about it and just very lightly go over this. And the point is to take it off the vinyl, but not to reach the base coat so much. And I'm not putting any pressure, guys. No pressure. Very little. It's like just a feather. I'm barely coming in contact with it because I really don't want it to hit the base coat so much. First, you just want to kind of get it toned down so you can start to see the vinyl coming out. You put a little more pressure on as you, but I'm not even putting so much my fingers behind where I'm wiping. So it's not like I'm pushing down on the paper towel. I really am just kind of feathering it over with no pressure. That's the key. Because if you put any pressure, it just, and it take small swipes, and you can always go back over it, but it's easier to not. And you can always put more ink on if you take too much off and you're just like, ugh. But it's easier to not. It's easier to take off a little bit at a time. And look at that as it comes out. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. And you don't want to hit the vinyl too much. That's why you have the lighter coats on there. I kind of like it with caramel, guys. I'll just throw that in there now instead of the latte. It's given it kind of a deeper color as I'm taking that. I'm trying to get this at a good angle. Sorry, guys. It leaves a kind of more of the reddish tone than the latte that's so light. So, and I only put more alcohol on once or maybe twice on my other cups. You can start to put a little more pressure as the ink dries, but you probably shouldn't have to, well, that's my panel. I'm gonna have to be careful with that. You shouldn't have to put a lot more ink on there. There's always a place that has more alcohol on it, and it makes it nice because, again, it's not so wet, so it's not getting down in the grooves, and it's really kind of leaving what you want and taking away only what you want. So so you just switch it around, find some alcohol on the thing, and just go for it. I figured out that I like to kind of hit it once, then let it dry a little bit, and then go back and hit it again if I feel like I'm missing something, or I want a little more of the lighter color. I'm hoping you're seeing this and I'm not. It's really awkward with this stupid thing, but I don't know how else I'd hold this cup. So you can see it's like you just watch it pop out right in front of your eyes. It's the coolest thing. I might have to get just a little bit more alcohol on this. And like I was saying, I'm not sure if you're using a weaker alcohol, if you might need maybe a little bit more. I don't know. Having the stronger alcohol, I feel like it maybe takes it off a little fast. Now that I've worked with it, I'm okay with that, but it definitely takes a feel. It doesn't take long to get a feel, but you have to get a feel for it, because if you push too hard, especially with brand new alcohol on there, see, it's gonna get a little bit light, and I'm gonna have to work with it a little bit. I'm gonna set it down and see if that helps. But again, no pressure, guys. Don't put a ton of pressure. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It won't work. Well, it'll work, but it'll work too good. Better than you want it to. Then you can kind of go back and really catch the ones. Now we're getting, so we're almost done. I'm actually gonna hit this a little bit to try and lighten it up. This is just the panel. You don't want it quite that dark, but ooh, I don't know if I like that, but I don't know, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Get that in there, kind of get that worn leather look a little bit. Okay, so I lied. I do like it, guys. Thought I wanted to leave it dark. I lied, I don't. It's good. I like it like this. And you're gonna have little pieces where it catches your paper towel. You just go ahead and brush them off. So now we can go back through and just get a feel for, oh, this is too dark. I want to lighten it up some. Now you'll know if you want to get down in the grooves. It's a little dark in your background. Oops. And you want to lighten it up some. It's not hard, guys, at all, once you figure out how to do it. It's just figuring out the inks and how to work with them. I don't know, I'm digging it pretty dark like this. Let me see. So that's what we got, guys. Came out good, huh, Marsha? What do you think? Any questions? Oh, these comments are gonna make me crazy. It looks super, super fancy, huh, Robin? How is it going? I would love to see what you got. And please, please, please. Hey, Chris, yeah, we're gonna save it. And I put all of them on my YouTube channel also. So, of course it is, Marsha, just because you wanted it not to be. It'll be saved, Heather. You'll catch it. Don't worry. It really is. There's not that much to it. It really is so much simpler than what it looks. It definitely looks pretty elegant almost. It does, Robin, actually. It really does. But once you get a feel for it, though, you just have to be light-handed. That's the thing. Be light-handed. And if you have to, go back and... if you have to go back and add some more ink, no problem. I did my first time. I added some ink to it because it was a little too much. I took it too far because I was trying to get a feel for it. And that's okay. Y'all gotta learn, right? And as far as I'm concerned, this made me look way better than what I really am. Absolutely did. So now I'm just going to clean it up, run back over it one more time. I think this bad boy is done. It's nice to see there's a texture to it. So right now the way it sits, there's a texture. The vinyl sticks up and you can see it. And even under epoxy you can still see it, but it's not quite the same. I might actually try using some Crystalac on this because it's lighter coats and I can get a good seal on it, but I might retain some of that texture. That's just so nice and authentic to me, you know, that texture, because tool leather, like on a saddle, it has a texture to it. You can feel it. You can look at it. You can see the depth, feel the depth, and that's what's so neat about it. And the epoxy is nice. It definitely protects it, seals it up, gives it a nice shine. On my black one, I'm actually going to try some cheat over it, just because I think it looked nice with a little bit of a sparkle. But on the wood, I think I'm just, or on the brown, I think I'm just a purist. I think I want to just leave it just plain, not monkey with it too much. Like I said, see a little bit of the texture. I think that would be a good thing. So as you guys are doing this, let me see what you guys have got going on. Post them in the group. Show us what you come up with, what your variances are. If you learn anything or you have a tip, you have a trick, always share it with the group. Because this is only like my third one, so I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I'm still figuring out my second one. You know, I played with different colors and that was really cool. So I could see what I could do with black. I'm actually going to try it in a teal. They don't quite strike my fancy quite as much as the brown, but they are fun, you know, and they give you just a different look that isn't out everywhere. I'm sure it will be soon. I've watched other groups picking them up. I have seen a lot of tutorials coming. So you guys have seen it. Kind of one of the first here. Winner. So yeah, post your cups. Let us know how you did. Show us If you glitter it, if you don't glitter it, if you use different colors, let us know what the colors are. I'm just super stoked. These are coming out super, super fun, and I want to see what you guys do. So that's it. That's all it took. So unless you guys have any questions, then we'll go ahead and sign this off. Chris, I'll post the YouTube in the comments when I'm done, and it'll be in the group. You can find it in the group too, because I'll save it here. I always save it here. I put it in Tumbler Outcasts, and then I'll post it on my YouTube. So you'll be able to find it. It'll be all over the place. No problem, Marsha. Hopefully you get your silhouette to cut, and then I can see yours. I want to see what you do with it. I'm super excited. Super, super excited. All right, guys. We'll call it a night then. If you have questions, let me know. I'll try and post things in the comments. What am I posting? I'm posting the YouTube. If you guys have questions about anything else, leave it in the comments. I'll go back through and read them, and I'll try and answer all your questions and get everything all nailed down for you. I'll try and post the links for the 2 files that I've used. If you look at my black one, it's a paisley print, and I'm a huge fan of paisley. This one that we did tonight is more of a Western kind of scroll. I dig this one too, but the paisley one is super fun. I want to see the paisley one in a brown. I think that'd be fun too. So, okay, let me know what you guys need. Show me when you guys are done. Have a good night. Have a good week, and we'll check in with you probably next weekend with another tutorial. Night, guys. Well, if I can figure out how to turn it off anyway.